Happy Wow Wednesday day. Hope you guys are doing good as always. I know our week has been a little different. Our kids are in summer school this week, so that has been fun. They have summer school for a couple weeks and then they will get back to summer break. So, what are you guys doing? What have you been up to? Let me know in the comments. How are you guys doing? I'm Alicia, the founder of this group, the Healthy Moms of Faith. If you are new to this group, welcome. I'm super pumped for you to be here with us, to hang out with us and see what's going on here in this group. Today, we're going to be talking about a topic that is something I talk to you guys about a lot. I hear this quite a bit when I chat with you ladies on maybe Facebook Messenger, or maybe we've done a quick phone call. And so I'm really excited to talk about this because I think it's very relatable. Everybody has this struggle in one way, shape, or form. So, I think it's been cool because, and if you're hopping on, say hi, let me know that you're here. I want to make sure that you're here. And I want to make sure that we're live in the group, of course. So I'm going to do that really quick. But, this is a really, can be a touchy subject because we all have certain food addictions or, struggles. And so, we've been talking about the last month how to thrive God's way, right? That's why we're here. And so, now that we've learned, spiritually how we are supposed to thrive in life, spiritually and physically, want to look at some things that physically we struggle with, or mentally we struggle with a little bit more, and how do we conquer these things? So today we're going to talk about one of those things. I'm super excited to be talking to you guys about that. So we are live in the group. If you are here, say hi so that I know that you're here. Give me some emojis. Let me know that you're excited to be here to learn, and put cravings in the comments if you're ready to get going. So, if you are someone who struggles with cravings, sugar cravings, junk food, comfort food, and this seems to be a problem in your life, and it's something that maybe you've dealt with or struggled with for a very long time, then this training is for you because I really want you guys to understand, what might be happening in your life and why things may not be working the way that they should. So that's why we're here. So welcome to these weekly trainings. I call them Wow Wednesdays, Words of Wisdom Wednesday. That's what that stands for. And we're here because we desire to get healthier in spirit, soul, and body, right? Because we want to get healthier so that we can understand and live the life that we're designed to live, the life that God has designed us for. And that is a life that should be thriving, right? We should be thriving in life, not just surviving. So that's why we're here. I want to provide you guys some value here in this group, hopefully to help you understand, again, what might be working, or not working. Most often that's the problem, right? We don't know what we're doing is not working. So I want to help you move forward in your journey and give you some ideas of things that might help stimulate your brain, help you to think about things differently. Sometimes when we get stuck in a rut, you just need someone to have a different perspective. And so that's what I do as a health coach. That's why I'm here. So even if you're not doing any personal one-on-one coaching with me, this is a free group for you. There's free resources here. So I want to provide you guys with some direction at least, and encouragement so that we're all getting healthier, right? So again, if you're excited about that, let me know in the comments. So again, today we're going to be talking about, how do we find more balance in our nutrition? How do we get rid of these, maybe a sugar addiction, maybe it's comfort food, when it comes to eating healthier, we have to really start changing our mindsets first, right? And that's what we've been talking about the last month or so. We have to really think about things from God's perspective, not our perspective. So that's the first step. So if you haven't watched those trainings, How to Thrive God's Way, there's 3 trainings. They're in the guides under Wow Wednesdays. So go watch those because that will really help you progress into this physical change that needs to happen when it comes to our food addiction. So some of you might know I've shared this story a little bit, but I wanted to kind of expand on this a little bit about, how I have learned to overcome my own sugar addiction. And I love food. I have always loved food. I am that person, though, that when I was younger, I had a really high metabolism, and so I could pretty much eat whatever I wanted, right? I know a lot of people hate us that have the high metabolisms, but that's still something that I didn't grow up with really great nutrition knowledge. My parents were doing the best that they could, and we didn't really get the choice of what we ate, and so my mom just made food that would fit our big family. There's 6 of us kids, and so that's what she had to do at the time. I always remember that she used to at least have a protein, at least have some sort of carb so that we were full. And so there were certain things that I learned along the way, but there wasn't really like this balance of, knowing what you should do with sugar. It was just like when you went to a potluck, you didn't get that very often, so you ate as much of it as you could because it was so good, right? And so that's kind of how I grew up and what I learned about nutrition along the way. And I really didn't have to watch what I ate because I was a kid. I was skinny. I was, active. And so while that can be all good and well, I still didn't have the right education. So as I've gotten older, I've realized my metabolism slows down. I now have an autoimmune disease, and so that slows my metabolism down. And so I can't just eat whatever I want right now. Like that has changed in the last 10, 15 years. And so it's really been in the last 10, 15 years that I've had to, okay, how does this really work? What kinds of things do I really need to provide my body with fuel to help my body, get the goals that I want to do, and to maintain weight and to be healthy and have good, sugar levels and cholesterol and all of those things, right, that we're trying to figure out. I've had to figure this out. And so I've shared the story, my first realization of, the fact that, okay, well, I've gained a few pounds here and I'm not as fit as I would like to be. Was after I'm a hairstylist too. I do hair in my home now, but I worked as a hairstylist full time in a salon, and I didn't go to college. I went to trade school, and so that was my first experience with, I started buying my own food and providing for my own needs, and I moved out and I was living on my own, and so I ate what I wanted to eat. And so that was really when I first started seeing, this is not really the direction I want to go. I didn't really like that I had put on some extra body fat, that kind of thing, a few extra pounds. I probably gained anywhere from 10 to 15 pounds from where I am now. And so, that was my first realization of, okay, well, I need to do something different. And, at that time, I really didn't know exactly what to do. But there was one thing that I started doing, and somehow I figured this out. But, I started drinking the sugary, excuse me, the sugary coffees. I started drinking like Scooter's coffees because there was one right across the salon. And I loved those things. And of course, I was still addicted to sweets. And so I just ate them when I wanted to. And, that was part of my realization of, oh, okay, well, I can't just eat sugar whenever I want and expect my body to do what I need it to do, or, have energy and or lose some weight. And so that was my first realization. I worked in the salon, and there was a women's fitness gym next door, and I got a free membership. And so I started working out, and that was, part of my journey. And then I realized, okay, well, I do need to change my diet, and I need to figure some things out. But really, sugar for me was the first thing that I realized, okay, I need to do something about this. And somehow, I figured out over time, and I'll tell you, just for instance, the sugary coffees, it took me probably a good, I don't even know, like 4 or 5 years to finally like work myself out of that to where my drinks now are pretty much just almond milk and maybe a little bit of flavoring, but it's not much sugar at all. And I actually can't drink the sugary drinks because it's too sweet now. Like my body is used to not having sugar. So again, this took me some time, right? And I just realized that, okay, well, I still like sweets. I still like some of these other things. And I don't want to give them up completely, right? And I think that's where I see a lot of us struggle is that when we decide we're going to go on a diet, or we decide that we're going to go change our nutrition habits, we're just going to be like all or nothing, right? We're just going to give it all up. And I've never been that way with food. I've always been like, well, I want to enjoy sweets occasionally. I want to have some of those things. And, so for me, it was a process of weaning. It was a process of slowly getting rid of some of these things. And depending on everyone's journey, that can look a little bit different, and how motivated you are, of course. But I wanted to point this story out because that's the first baby step that we're talking about today. The two baby steps that you need to combat these comfort food cravings or sugar and junk food cravings. And the thing behind that is it takes a little bit of time. And if you've ever tried to get rid of sugar just like cold turkey, sometimes this works for people. And I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm just saying when we struggle with food addictions, when you say, okay, I'm going to just cut it out completely, there's still those cravings there, and we still have to replace those cravings with something, right? And I'm going to talk about that here in a minute because that's my second baby step that we need to work on. But the first step is weaning. And it's about the little daily steps of going in the right direction, of weaning those things out. So, if you've ever gotten rid of, soda or sweets in your house or coffee, like making your coffee not so sweet, like it takes some time, right? Your body is also used to what you have put in it. Okay, so you're gonna crave some of those things because it's used to those things, right? So I want you to think about the small daily steps that you can be taking in order to get rid of some of these addictions you might have, whether it be sugar, whether it be junk food, whether it's you're drinking too much caffeine, sweet tea, I hear that one a lot, whatever it is. Take some daily steps to start weaning yourself off of these things. So start with one less cup of coffee. Start with a little bit less sweet cream, in your coffee. Or, the other thing that I talk about with this with my clients is don't bring it into your house. If you know that it's something that you struggle with, and right now maybe you're trying to wean yourself off, the best way to do that is to make your home a safe zone. I talk about that with my clients because not bringing it into your house, not buying it, let your home be a safe zone to where you can stick to the plan, stick to this weaning process by not bringing it into your house, right? And then maybe when you're outside of your house, you can have a few things here or there. And then you don't have to worry about being, so stressed out about having it in your home because it's not there, right? If that's what you need to do, if you're really wanting to commit to losing some weight, to getting healthier, and sugar or junk food or whatever is your struggle, then it needs to start, in your home, and you need to start weaning some of these things out, right? So that was my first encouragement. I want you to really think about, getting rid of that all or nothing mentality again. Work on slowly weaning it out of your house, getting rid of it. And again, I know that can be, am I still alive? Okay, there we go. Okay, so, start with weaning things out and working to kind of get rid of that all or nothing mentality. Like, wean it out slowly, or however quickly you want, but allow yourself to, again, I think that God has designed food for us to enjoy. It's just about putting the right things in and more so of the better choices. And then, working on weaning out the things that are not as great for us, right? And so that's what I do too with my clients. I use a protocol called Wean to Lean, and we work on these things, and we work on, what you need to do to work on having these better habits, right? And again, Give yourself grace. This takes some time to learn what to do better, and it's a habit. You have to build this habit over time, right? So if that's you, if you know that you need to wean some things out in life, some struggles that you're having, whether it's sugar or junk food, put wean in the comments and let me know, is that you? Because you're not alone, and you definitely have other people in this group who are struggling with these things as well. So what's the second baby step? The first baby step is we got to start weaning these things out, right? I give you some tips on how you can start doing that. What's the second baby step? Well, for me anyways, like I said, I was working through this process about 10, 15 years ago of figuring out nutrition-wise, what to do. And back then it was just, well, I'm going to work out so I can eat whatever I want, right? My mentality still wasn't, no, I need to really think about this as a lifestyle. I need to think about my nutrition as, how do I fuel my body? And this took me some time really to figure out, but it really clicked for me. And I've shared this story a little bit, with you guys if you've been here for a while, that I worked with a nutritionist about 5 years ago because of my Hashimoto's, my autoimmune disease. I realized, I was taking my pill that I need to take to help my thyroid, work the way that it should. But I had heard so much about how, better nutrition can help heal so many things in our lives, in our bodies, and so I decided, okay, I'm going to take the plunge. I'm going to work with a nutritionist, and she also happened to have, herself worked through some thyroid, diseases. Sorry, this is my dishwasher. And so she really taught me a lot about how to balance the right types of food, the better types of food, right? And this is one thing I want you to think about. Food is not good or bad. Like we say sometimes, oh, well, I had a bad day. I ate bad today. Food is amoral, just like money. It's amoral. It can't be good or bad. Food is designed for fuel, and that's something that I want you to really start thinking about. And this is how I think about it now too. And so the second baby step that we need to take is refocusing your mentality about food. Refocusing your mentality on the better things. What are the better choices to make, right? And so that's what I teach, my clients as well, is it's about balancing the right types of food. It's not that you can't have some of these things. That's the other mentality I think we definitely struggle with, especially for those of you who self-sabotage, or you struggle with your identity, because you see, when you eat bad, you see that as being a bad person. And that's not it at all. Food is amoral. Food is not good or bad. Food is fuel. And so again, remember that mentality. Food is fuel. Start saying that to yourself. Food is fuel. It's not good or bad. It's just refocusing your mentality on the better choices, the better things to eat. So, and I mentioned this earlier, in that when it comes to your struggles with sugar, junk food, whatever these things are that you've been struggling with, your body wants what it knows. So you may have heard people say, well, if you eat a lot of sugar, you're going to crave a lot of sugar. And that is very true, because your body is thriving, sort of. It's getting, fuel from sugar, but the problem with sugar is that it's not a stable food source. It causes so many ups and downs in your insulin. It causes brain, function and fog and all these things. And so your body wants what it knows. That's why it craves that. So when we start weaning things out and we replace it with the better foods, the better choices, remember, refocusing our mentality on the better things, and our body starts to get the things that it will actually thrive off of, you will start to see that you don't crave those things as much because your body's not eating them as much. And this is something I have seen over and over again with myself, with my clients, with people I've talked to that are working on these things. And so again, that's the second baby step, is refocusing your mentality on the better things. So if you like to take notes, the first thing is weaning. The first baby step is weaning. Wean those things out. It takes a little bit of time. It takes a mentality shift. And then the second thing is refocusing your mentality on better things, better choices. And that's where, again, the lean part comes into my protocol, wean to lean, because we focus on getting enough protein, getting enough carbs, getting enough fats, and the right types of those things, right? Because food macros is just a fancy word of saying what food is made of, right? And so we need enough protein, we need enough carbs, we need enough fats, and we need the right types of those things. It's just that we have a world that is so fast paced and so quick fix, and so I need it right now, that when you go to the grocery store, you have all these options of buying things that are prepackaged, and they've got all these extra additives, and you know, because we don't know what to do and how to balance things normally, because our body needs certain amounts of protein, and so we've got all these other extra things that we don't need in our bodies, and that's what's providing us sustenance, and that's why our body's not functioning the way that it should. It's not, our metabolism is not functioning the way that it should. So again, focusing on refocusing your mentality. Again, that food is fuel. It's not good or bad. You know, it's focusing on the better choices of food. So really think about that. You know, I wanted to share also, like, you know, when I started working with my nutritionist, for people who have high inflammation, any sort of autoimmune disease, and, you know, especially thyroid disease, you know, inflammation is a big thing in our bodies. And because we have all these extra additives and we're not eating right, we're eating too much sugar and too much junk food, excuse me, sorry. Our bodies are, again, they're trying to metabolize these things, and they're just not that great of things for our body. They're not the best things for our body on a regular basis. Again, thinking about, you know, better foods. And so for me, you know, she really encouraged me to start eliminating dairy in my life. And that was something, I like cheese, I like ice cream, like all of these things. But I had also seen, like, over a period of time where I was finally like, okay, I'm going to listen to my body, that my, you know, my body just doesn't like dairy. Dairy just doesn't like me, is what I like to say. Even my kids now, they're like, Mom, are you supposed to be eating that? I'm like, well, okay, so here's the deal. And here's the thing is, I know dairy doesn't like me, so I don't eat it most of the time. But like once a week, we have our pizza night. And I even talked to my nutritionist about this. She's very good about this too. She's taught me a lot of these things, because it's about balance, right? It's about having the better foods. Again, that's what I'm talking about, refocusing our mentality on better choices. It's not that you can't have some of those things. Now, me personally, I have to be aware that I might be a little gassy the next day. And am I okay with that? You know, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to eat the pizza because I want the pizza. But I'm not going to eat pizza every single day of the week, because I would be miserable. And there are some days where I don't eat the pizza that night because maybe I ate something else, dairy or whatnot. And I'm like, ugh, no, my body is just, I can't. And so it's like listening to your body in those cues when it comes to those kinds of things. But for me too, I have so much more energy when I eat less dairy, when I eat less gluten, when I eat less soy. And so for me, I learned those things. My nutritionist taught me that. And so again, it's refocusing on, okay, well, what's better for my body? What does my body actually need? And when you start weaning out the bad things, or weaning out the not so great things, you know, the sugar, those kinds of things, your body will tell you what you need. And when you see that, you know, you've been off sugar for a while, and maybe you heard Rosalind last week, she shared her story about that. She has RA, and when she eats too much sugar, she flares up and she has pain. And so she knows she can have maybe a little bit, but she doesn't have it every day. So your body will tell you. Your body has tells, you know, like poker. Your body, you know, when you refocus and you wean some of these things out, your body will tell you, ooh, no, I don't want that, you know. And so it's really cool when that stuff starts happening, because you're like, oh, my body's actually getting what it needs now. I'm getting the right macros. I'm getting, you know, the better foods. So anyways, all of that to say, these are the two things that I really like to focus on, and that are some things that you can really focus on, is weaning some of those things out. And I've talked to several of you, you know, where you've done that a period of time in your life. and then maybe you let it come back in again. And that can happen. We need some accountability. We need some help in that area. But again, you probably have experienced that where you'd been off sugar for a while, or you'd been off junk food for a while, and then you added it back in and your body was just like, ugh, I can't handle this. So that's what's really cool. And so again, if you struggle with getting rid of some of these cravings, sugar, junk food, comfort food, put cravings in the comments and let me know, is this you? Because again, you're not alone. Everyone struggles with something like this. And so this is just one way that I've seen it work in my life and work in several people's lives. Again, we have to, like we've been talking about in the weeks past, like this is our Wow Wednesday, our words of wisdom. I don't really have any spiritual wisdom for you today, but I really want you to still focus on the fact that why we're doing this is because you are a masterpiece. You are a child of the King. And in order for us to learn to worship God with our lives, because that's what we're called to do, right? We're called to worship Him and to help build His kingdom and to bring people with us into the kingdom of God. We get to use our body as a tool, but we only get one body. And so it's huge that we take care of this vessel that we have. And that takes time and that takes dedication. And that means we have to kind of weed out the things in life and take time for our self-care to really focus in on, okay, what do I need to do in order to take care of my body so that I can have the healthiest spirit, soul, and body? Because we talk about our self-care also includes our spiritual health, and that's being in the Word every day. And so it's all of these things, but specifically today, focusing on, how do we get rid of some of these cravings? And, these 2 baby steps are what I have seen work over and over and over again for myself and other people. So that's what I would encourage you with today. If you have any questions, feel free to go ahead and put them in the comments. I don't see any comments right now. Let me make sure I haven't missed any. Yep, I think we're good. So yeah, if you guys are watching this later, that's totally fine. I know a lot of you can't necessarily watch it right now. So if you like to watch it live, make sure you're letting me know if you're live right now, say live. And if you're watching it later, say replay, let me know. Next week, I am not sure I will be doing a live yet. I'm supposed to maybe be helping out with a kids camp. So I will let you know next week if I will be here on Wednesday or not. And it is the summer, so I will be here as much as I can. But there will be a few weeks that I will be gone, so I may not have a live training that week. But go back and watch some of these other live trainings. They're under guides in the Facebook section. There are old ones that I've done. There are newer ones that I've done. If you have any questions about where you are at, and if you're struggling with these things specifically today, go ahead and put cravings in the comments or wean in the comments and let me know, because I'll reach out to you and we can have a little chat and we can figure out what direction do you need to go. And maybe there's another training that I've done that would really speak to where you're at in your life, and I would love to help direct you in that way. So I really want you guys to understand what's going on and what direction you need to go. So again, if you need help, I'll reach out to you. Put cravings in the comments. But that is all I have for today, so I will see you soon, most likely, if not next week, and you guys have a great Wednesday. Bye.